Hi, friends. Yolanda Harper with Harper Therapy. I want to share some information this Tuesday afternoon. It's a beautiful day and the sun is shining and it's not raining at the moment. And we've had a busy day here in the office with seeing clients and then sharing other Facebook Lives. And it's just our desire to share some valuable information, some information that will be helpful for you, for your family, to find hope, growth, and healing. We want to share the power of connection and well-being in our community. And so today, this afternoon, this video is about, it's a message to parents about the value of letting our teens fail. I'm just going to pause for a moment there because this is a hard one. Like, as a mom, as a parent, there's been so much of our parenting lives that we have spent in protecting our kids from the very beginning, from the time that they were in utero, reading the books. Remember those What to Expect books? Are they still around? Like, are there still the books that expectant parents read? I don't know. You guys let me know. So, so as we're preparing for our little ones to enter the world, we're reading everything that there is to know: side sleeping versus stomach sleeping versus back sleeping, breast versus bottle, vaccination versus no vaccination. Like, we're doing all of the research and taking all of the steps to do whatever we can to keep our kids safe. And that's our job. That's our job. But that starts to shift as they get older. And part of the challenges with that is that with our teens, the stakes feel so much higher. Like, I remember that first time that my oldest took off. He had gone from crawling to walking and then full-fledged, like, running. Remember that first time that your kid, like, took off running and then, like, face planted it, right? And that was like a terrifying moment as a parent. Over time, it was still disconcerting, but you kind of got a little bit used to it, especially if you had a daredevil for a kid. But that first time just kind of takes your breath away. And when your kids shift into the teen years, watching them take that face plant is just so precarious because the consequences are so much bigger. They feel so much bigger as our kids are in teenhood and as they're shifting into adulthood, and the idea like everything's going on their permanent record. Whatever that is, right? Is that even a thing? So I wanted to share some information about creating some space for us to let our kids fail, because we're not always going to be there to buffer those falls as much as we would like to, as much as it's our parents' heart desire to protect our kids from the hard things of life. Life still happens and things are still tough, and eventually they're going to get the grade that they never wanted. Eventually someone's going to break up with them. Eventually they're going to be let go from a job, or or get a medical diagnosis, right? That's devastating. And if we haven't allowed them to create a process for getting up after those hard falls, then how are they going to navigate through those things? So I wanted to share the first thought behind helping our kids fail so that they can get back up again. And by no means am I saying sabotage them, right? That's not what we're talking about. We're just talking about not doing so much of the helicopter parenting thing, because really that's not a thing. I mean, we try to make it a thing, but our kids still need to learn these skills for themselves. So part of it is a shift from what's called a fixed mindset to a growth mindset. And that's really helping our kids kind of move from a thought of, I'm either good at something or I'm not, to thinking, wow, I can learn anything that I want to. Like, I can do the things that I put my focus on. I might not excel at everything that I put my focus on, but I can learn. It's a shift from the fixed mindset of, if it's not easy, I'm not able to do it, to I can challenge myself. I can take on a challenge and do hard things. It's a shift from that fixed mindset of if I fail, then I'm no good, to not if, but when I fail, because we all fall and fail in life. When that happens, I can learn from it and move and grow from it. That fixed mindset of my ability determines everything to my attitude and effort are what's important, right? So having conversations and setting the stage where we shift for ourselves, because this is very countercultural, like that fixed mindset is what our culture tends to. So it's a very active practice of recognizing like we can do hard things. We can learn from our falls. We can grow from these experiences, right? Even if something doesn't come naturally and I'm not good at it right away, I can still make some gains. So from that, shifting into that growth mindset, there's some grit and some resiliency skills that we can learn and we can model and we can teach to our kids, to our teens. So this is kind of shifting from a mindset of failure to practice. Think about all the celebrities that come to your mind whose stories weren't easy, whose lives were not peaches and cream, who struggled and scrapped their way to where they are and how we know them in life today. Think about Michael Jordan and how he was cut from teams. Think about Oprah. Think about Thomas Edison. So several years ago, our family visited the Edison estates, and did you know that he has 2,332 patents? Each one of those patents represents a failure of something that he had to learn to be able to put into place for success in his in the things that he created and that he's known for. So if Thomas Edison can practice that many times of falling and failing and learning and growing, then we can do a little bit of that too. So it's shifting the idea of failure and kind of turning that into more of a practice, right? You've practiced a way of doing it, and we can learn and grow from that and shift into a new way of practicing doing it. Another way of helping our kids, our teens, learn grit and resiliency and learn how to get up from a hard fall is to find purpose. We are more apt to do hard things and the hard things that it takes in life to grow and have success when we have purpose behind those things. So help your teen get clear about things that are purposeful for him or her. Get clear about the things that they're passionate about, because those are the things that they're going to spend time and effort, and they can practice these skills and gain some practice in them. So if your kid is passionate about baseball, then how do we cultivate that skill of resiliency and grit and allow them to grow from falls in that arena and expand that to other areas in life? Another avenue that's really important to focus on when helping our kids fail and learn how to get back up is the idea of hope. So our tagline here at Harper Therapy is hope, growth, and healing. So you know hope is important to us. Sometimes we need people in our lives to hold that hope space for us when it's a little harder for us to access that. So we can do that for our teens. We can hold that space of hope for them when things are a little bit rocky. We can remind them that hope is only possible if we don't quit, right? It is a practice of resting when we need to and then taking the next step forward. And then another avenue that's super important to keep in mind, especially in a culture where we can believe that things are so instantaneous and believe incorrectly that success in the skill set is super instantaneous, is to recognize that it takes time. It takes time to get good at things. It takes time to get up and learn from falls. The growth mindset reminds us of 10,000 hour rule, right? It takes a lot of practice to gain mastery over something. So, mom, dad, I hope that you're still hanging with me in this conversation about helping our teens to fail. One that's really countercultural, but one that's super important for us to help our teens with so that they can gain this skill set so that when they are facing the hard things in their lives, they know that they have us as support to turn to, but they also know that they have an internal resolve that they can turn towards too. So I hope this information is helpful for you today. Thank you for spending some time with us. If you have any questions about today's topic of grit and resiliency and helping our teens fail, drop them here in the comments. If you have some suggestions or some questions about some topics that would be helpful for us to cover during one of our lives, we'd be happy to answer those questions too. We are your home for hope, growth, and healing. Thanks for joining us today. Have a great afternoon.